Everyone. Okay, so I think yesterday we mostly discussed about the installation part, how to install Python in our system. If you have any questions regarding the installation, maybe after today's class you can ask me. But I think most of you will be able to do that because it is super simple, right? Just we need to go to the website and download it. But in case you kind of having any problem installing, you can ask your doubts after the class. And people who joined today newly, today is the first class, you can consider yesterday just it was demo sessions and installation part. If you can install Anaconda Python in your system, looking at the video, that's just a 5-minute task, right? Okay, so what is the agenda for today's class? What we're going to see, we are going to discuss a very short kind of tutorial on Jupyter Notebook, because in this entire course we're going to discuss about Jupyter, right? Like we will be using Jupyter Notebook. So I'll give you a tutorial, right, which is very important. And after you understand about the Jupyter Notebook tutorial, we'll be starting with Python content today. So this week, this will be core Python, right? This will be core Python. After Jupyter Notebook tutorial, we'll be discussing about the same class note I'll be using every day, right? For this entire course, one untitled note. Sorry, I'll rename it one note I will be using. And the respective Jupyter notebooks I'll be uploading in the drive. I think your drive is created. Today, after the class, you will find all the things, all the notes, everything is uploaded. Assignments, one Python book, 75 page, very summarized way. You can go through that. Everything you will find, your drive is up to date after today's class. So what we're going to see in today's class, we will understand about Jupyter Notebook tutorial, and then some basic, before we start the course, right? Basic help functions. So how to take help, right? That is very important. Whole course you will be using this particular functions, like how to import, how to install, how to take help, all of those basic things. And then we will be starting with Python introduction. So what, or Python core Python class, right? In Python, what we will see, basically in core Python, we will see different things. The first thing that we will see is nothing but what is a variable, right? We'll discuss about variable today, and then we will discuss what is type conversion, one type to another type, right? Type conversion. And then we will discuss about indentation. Indentation is very important, but before indentation, I think we need to discuss about data types, right? Data types. And maybe tomorrow, let's see if time permits, we'll start with other kind of topics. So what is the takeaway for today's class? Jupyter Notebook tutorial, basic help functions, Python. And if you have any questions, like I said yesterday, people who don't have questions, I don't want to waste your time, you can drop the meeting. And people who have question, you can ask me after this call. If you have any doubt also, you can ask me related to installation. So the first topic is Jupyter Notebook tutorial. So what we will do now is, let us see one by one. So first is Jupyter Notebook tutorial. I have opened this kind of page that you can see is called Jupyter Notebook, right? How I have opened it. So yesterday you have installed Anaconda Python. So what you need to do today is you open your command prompt, or basically you open your terminal. If you are using Mac or you are using Linux or Mac, you open your terminal, right? Mac and Linux user, you can open your terminal. In your terminal, type this command called Jupyter, right? Jupyter space notebook, and then hit enter. You will see something is opening. For people who are Windows user, you can also write the same thing in your Anaconda prompt, or there is a easy way for Windows user. What you can do is, in your start menu, you can see this Anaconda 3 folder. If you click on this Anaconda 3 folder, you can see lot of things are there, like Jupyter Notebook, Spider, you have all of this. Just click on this Jupyter space notebook. If you click on this console will open, and then after some time you can see this home folder. You can see Jupyter will be written. So this is the home folder. This is a web-based tool, so you can see it in local host. Let me repeat. What we are discussing is, once we have installed, how to open Jupyter Notebook. So there are different ways of opening. First, you go to your Anaconda prompt and type Jupyter space notebook. or terminal in Mac and Linux and type Jupyter Space Notebook, it will open. Or you come to your start and then there will be Jupyter Notebook. Sorry, there will be Anaconda 3 folder. Just click on this Jupyter Notebook and it will be opening. Now, once you open, this is your home folder. How to open a new Python file, right? So you have two options. You have two buttons here, and one button is your upload command and one button is your new command, right? So new button and upload. Upload and new are the two buttons. What you need to do first, you need to click on this new to create a new Python file. And if you want to upload any Python file, you can click on this upload. Let us first click on this new command. You can see you have different option. If you want to create a new Python file or text file, folder or terminal, you can select Python 3. So what I have selected Python 3. Why? Because I want a Python file. Now, whatever you are looking now is something called Python file. So here you can write, this is a notebook where you can write your all Python code. So the first thing that we discussed, how to open Jupyter Notebook and how to open a Python script, or basically a notebook where we can write our Python script. So this is how I have opened this Untitled 363 or whatever it is. This is how I have opened. So Jupyter Notebook, what is the first thing we have discussed? Let me write here. So here the first thing that we have discussed is how to open Jupyter Notebook and how to open a Python file. Now here you can see this window. We have lot of things in this. We have file, edit, view. You can see one box is coming. So I'll tell you how to use this for your running your code and kind of saving the file. Let us save the file. So there is Untitled 363. If I click on this, I can rename it. For example, this is my class, right? Practice note, right? This is my class practice note. What is this? This is my class practice note. And maybe this is, I will write your batch name, maybe 9 p.m., right? 9 p.m. Class practice note 9 p.m. So I'm just creating this name of this file. I have renamed my file to class practice note 9 p.m. Now I have created something, some note kind of thing. It is looking very nice to you. You can see Jupyter Notebook, basic help, Python and all of that. So let us discuss how you can create your own notebook, beautiful notebook like this. So why Jupyter is famous? Because it supports code and also it supports markdown. Let me take you through this one by one. Do not worry, I will cover each topic and I will repeat, and then I'll give everyone chance to ask doubts. If you have any doubts, you can ask. I know for most of you these are very silly things or very basic things. People are from Python background, I know, but for many of others this is very important things. So initial 2-3 classes, you may find little kind of repetition if you already know Python, but it is very much beneficial for people who are completely beginner. So we are starting from scratch, but we are going to very, very advanced level. So my approach is from starting from scratch to very advanced, right? So that everybody will be benefited. Now how to create, first of all, this is, you can see this cell, this is called cell, and we have different options. First I will ask myself what I want to write, whether I want to write a Python code or I want to write some text. So what I have written here, the tell me the first block that I have written, Jupyter Notebook tutorial, what I have written, is this a Python code or this is simple text? Tell me, what is this? Simple text, right? So what I need to do is I need to make sure wherever I am writing simple text, I have to change this mode to markdown. You can see this is code mode and markdown mode. So markdown means text, code means Python code. So you open a Jupyter Notebook, ask yourself what I'm going to write, whether it is a Python code, no need to do anything. By default it will be Python mode, sorry, code mode. If you want to write a text, you need to change it to markdown. Let me not change it, let me change it to code mode. Now the interpreter will understand, okay, you are going to write Python code, but actually you're writing text. So if I run this, I will get error, invalid syntax. Why this is invalid syntax? Because I have not changed it to markdown. So what you need to do, from code mode you change it to markdown, and then if you run this, you will find proper text has been accepted. Now let us first understand about the text mode, and then we will come to the code mode. So text mode, markdown basic understanding you should have. To create nice markdown, you should have basic understanding about markdown. So what we can understand is very simple thing we can understand. Like, see, I have given this headings, bullet points, and all of this. And some shortcuts, if you remember, you can create nice Jupyter notebooks. Eventually you will remember it. Don't kind of worry. When you start using it, I mean after 4 5 times you used it, it will be you will be remembering it. First point, how to write a text. Nothing, you just change it to markdown and simply you write whatever text you want. Let's say I'm writing, this is a simple text, right? This is a simple text. And if I run this, you can see this is a simple text. It has been executed. Now what I will do is I want bullet points, right? Like, see, I have created here bullet points, Jupyter Notebook, Basic Help, Python, point by text I want to write, bullet points. How you can write bullet points or basically list? Yes, you can do that. So what you can do is, this is list, or basically this is your, just write a hyphen. What you will write? Hyphen and then give a space. Hyphen and give a space, and then you write your text. Super simple. No need to kind of, it's not at all complicated. Hyphen and then you write the text. Item 1, this is item 1 will be written in bullet point, and then item 2, and then let's say item 3, and so on. And then if you run this, this is the command to run, and this is in code mode. You have to change it to markdown each time, and then you can run this. So what happened? This is a simple text. I have not written anything. This is bullet points. How I have given bullet points? Hyphen, hyphen, hyphen. Every class in the last 5 minutes I will do a quiz. Quiz means whatever has been taught in the class, directly I will ask some questions, right? And you have to answer in the chat window. So that's how I will understand whether you understood the class or not. So please pay attention what we are discussing here, right? Even though you know Python and you are in an expert level, I think initial few classes, if you listen properly, it will be a revision for you, right? Others will be benefited who are beginners. Now, once you understood this is a simple text and you have written this list. Now, item 1, item 2, item 3 is bullet list. Let's say I don't want bullet point. I want to write 1, 2, 3. Super simple. Just write one dot and then write, let's say one dot, and then you write item 1. And then you write 2 dot and write item 2. So it is not at all difficult. Having said that, we are able to create a nice document. So why should not we learn it, right? It is not at all difficult, but it is giving us lot of advantage. So again, you want to remember keyword shortcut later you can, but anytime you're writing any markdown, change it to markdown and then run. So this is list. Item 1, item 2, item 3 is unordered list, in the sense bullet points. This is 1, 2, 3. You can see this is numbered list, right? Ordered and unordered. Simple text you understood, bullet points you understood, 1 to 3 you understood. What else you can use? Very simple things. Let's say bold, you want to bold or highlight some of the text, right? So let's say this text, right? This text is bold, right? So this bold, I want to bold it. So how to bold in Jupyter? Super simple. Just 2 times you have to write this star symbol, 2 times star symbol, and then if you change it to markdown and then run it, so this is bold. So what is this text became? This text bold became bold. So how I have made it bold? 2 times star. 2 times star is called bold, right? 2 times star is called bold. Now, once you have done it bold, let's say you want to make it italic. I will revise everything. First, I will complete one part and then again I will go revise and then again I will ask you question so that you can remember everything, right? So let me tell you how to bold. So this text is bold. So bold means 2 times star star. So what is the command to bold any text? Star star. Within that, whatever you are writing, right? Whatever you are writing, bold, this, whatever you are writing, everything will be bold. Everything will be bold. So what is the command for bold? People who are not able to remember star star, can you tell me markdown syntax? What is the markdown syntax for bold? That also you can use. What is the markdown syntax? Anyone? Can you type in the chat window? What is the markdown syntax? Bold. bracket B, correct. So B also you can write, but I think star star is much faster because there you have to start and then end all of that. The tags B you have to write and end B, all of that you think you have to do. Here it is super fast. So I think small things gradually you can remember. 2 times star star, this is nothing but your bold. Now once you have bold it, let's say italic, I want to make it italic. So how to make it italic? Very simple. This text is, let's say, italic, right? So what you need to do is 1 star, right? 1 star is nothing but your italic, right? 1 star is nothing but your italic. And then if you run this, just change it to markdown and then you run this, right? So this is italic. So you have understood how to make it bold. You have understood how to make it italic. You have understood the list, right? One, two, three, four different kind of list, and then ordered list, everything. And then what else you remember? You understood bullet points, subheadings also you can give. See what I have done. See, this is one, and within this, if you want to create one more, you can always write in this way. Let me help you here, right? So this is your item. This is your item. Let's say what you want is sub items you want to create. What I will do here, let's say here sub items I want to create. Let's say here sub items. Copy this, right? This is items and sub items. So this is super simple. Inside item one, you have set, give some space. What you will do, give some space and then you write. So what you will write, let's say this is sub item, sub item. Let's say this is sub item and this is 1.1, right? This is sub item 1.1 or item 1.1 basically, right? This is item 1.1 and then you have more items. Let's say this is item 1.2 and so on, right? Item 1.2, item 1.1 and so on. So if you run this, change it to markdown, don't forget to do that. You can see this is bullet points. So very nicely you can create subheadings, headings, and all of that, right? Using this simple hyphen symbol, not at all difficult to remember. Hyphen and then number, double star is bold, single star is italic. And then you can always write your text, simple text by just writing the text. So I think this all things are so far it is clear. Next thing that we will understand is called header, but I will stop here for some time. So far, is it clear, everyone? Simple text, bullet points, and your bold italic. 4 things only we have seen, right? Not many. Only 4 things. Is it clear, everyone remembered? Okay. Now, there is nothing to understand, just to remember, right? There is nothing to understand, no logic here. Just we need to remember the syntax, how to write, right? Now the next thing what we need to understand is heading. There is can you see that I have written this before you join the class. I have written the session will start at 9:10 or 9:05. I have written, so that is bold and big. So I have used a header for that, header. So there is always an option here. You can see heading. So there are shortcut also, but if you are comfortable using this, you can choose headings. So what is this heading? Heading means you will find this in a very big italic kind of way. So let me not write it. This is a let me delete this, right? Okay, so here I want to write the heading. So directly you can write a slash #1 escape. You write your escape, you have your keyboard, type escape and then 1 for first heading, escape 2 for second heading, escape 3 plus for third heading, escape 4 for fourth heading. I'll explain each of this heading one by one. But if you are not comfortable using escape and hash, you can also use here. Let me delete this. Here I want to create a heading. So what I will do is here I will select heading and then I will click on this OK. I'll click on this OK. Now here I can see hash has come. So what I will do, I will write this is header 1, right? Header 1 and then shift enter is run, or you can click on this run command, shift enter or run, right? So this is a header. You can see the difference between text and header. This is a simple text and this is a header. Headers are very important. So any machine learning or project you are writing, headers you can divide your entire code into blocks. This block of code below that I'm writing is nothing but data collection code. Then you give the heading like model building, and then below lines of code are doing model building. So itself is a documentation. No need to kind of explain others. If they see your documentation, they can understand. Each process you can subdivide, in the sense header 1 can also be divided into multiple subheaders. How to give subheaders? What I told you is here two hash. So again you come here and select heading. Right now what you need to do is, okay, how many hash? One hash. You add one more hash here. What you need to add? You add one more hash here. Now two hash, and then you write this is header 2. This is header 2, and then sorry, there is a space. There should not be any space between two headers. So if you run this, can you see the size of the header 2 is smaller than the header 1? So this is your subheader. Keyboard shortcuts are good because every time you have to select your header and OK and then again hash. Instead of that, if you can just remember for heading the shortcut, which is nothing but escape, you can click on this escape plus number. Escape plus number. So if you want header 2, how many hash you need? 2. So you need to press 2, 3, 4, 5. So subheaders will come. So what I want to do is, let's say another subheader I want to give. What I will press? Escape and then 3. Can you see? Immediately 3 hash came. Escape and 4 means 4 hash. Escape and 5 hash. So 3 means header 3. So this header will be even smaller than the before one. So this is my header 3. Again, escape 4 headers. This is again smaller. So all of this main section, you can keep dividing it into header 1, header 2, header 3, header 4. Inside each header, you can write your code and you can write your text, bullet points, lot of things you can do. So this is your header concept. What you need to remember in header: escape and then 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever level you want, you can write. That is super simple. You understood how to give headers, you understood bold, italic, you understood the points like bullet points and the numbers, you understood how to write a simple text. Next thing that you can understand is how to add an image. Is it necessary to add image? Yeah, sometimes maybe, because if you want to show the input image or what you are kind of passing as input, what is the input image or something you want to insert, or hyperlinks, right? Let's say hyperlinks, how it is helpful. For example, you have some hyperlink where you found some nice document, right? You want to use that document for your future reading, and you want to add that in your Jupyter notebook. So how to add hyperlinks? So basically you can write your URL link, whatever URL. Let me go to any URL, right? Let's say this Python URL. I want to go to this Python website, right? Python URL. So I think this python.org. So this particular URL I want to add. Copy this URL, whatever you want to add. And here, where is that? Here, right? Here you can type this Python URL within this bracket. So what I'm going to write is this Python URL. And then if I run this, sorry, this is not in markdown mode. This should be in markdown mode. And then if I run this, I think the syntactical error, python.org. Simply if I paste that, okay. Okay, so Python, right?
One
And then yes,
that is not
bracket
in
should be, yes. So it's it markdown mode. I'm think, okay. So I think I'm doing some silly mistake. There is what to, I think href you can always use, but what is the shortcut? I think I forgot. The shortcut is simply, I think href you can always use. Like if you are kind of little bit you are confused with this kind of shortcuts, you can always write the markdown. So what you need to write, a and then href is equals to your whatever is the link, right? So let's say this is my link, and after that you have to end this. So this is some text, whatever text you want to write. Let's say click here, right? Let's say click here or something, that whatever you want to write. And then you have to close this, right? Again you have to close this. anytime you are forgetting, you can always use this markdowns, right? So but anyways, I think that is I was missing this codes or something, but here also you can use a href. If you click here, where it is going to python.org. Where it is going to python.org, right? So let me repeat. So what we are doing here is adding a hyperlink. So for example, you found that some important text or something, sorry, some important document or reference you want to add. Always you can add the documents here, right? Okay. Now what else you can do? You can add images, you can add tables. For adding images, you have lot of functions, right? You have 2 3 functions. What you can do is there is something called display functions which you can add, or you have, you know, this img, right? Img, that also you can use. So let me use it, but I will stop here for doubts. Is it clear so far? Heading and your url. So there is nothing new we are learning, just we are revising. People who already know your markdown, I think directly you can use all of this markdown language. So far, is it clear?
Yeah, can we ask a question?
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so if we miss a class, will we be getting a recording?
Yes, yes, you will get recording. Definitely, every class recordings will be provided.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, now if I have to add some kind of, let's say, image, right? Do I have any image? Let me search for some image, right? Any image, or let me download any image from internet. Let's say Python logo, something like that, right? So let me save this image. So where I'm saving in my downloads, right? In my downloads, I think I have lot of image. I can use maybe this, right? Iris owl image. This is the owl image. So let me use this instead of downloading another one. So what is the path? This is the path, downloads, inside downloads. So I'll copy this path, and let's say I want to add this image here. So let me first write the path where exactly this path is. So this is the path, and then the file name. So this is the file name, right? This is the file name. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to write this particular image within this, let's say I am going to write whatever title I want to give. Let's say this is image, or let's say whatever it is, right? It just you give some title, and then there is the symbol. So again, if these things are little, okay, this is not coming. Okay, so there are different ways to do that. You can also do this by another way. This is something called, you can write from I. So we are actually importing this image from display function. You can also use IP. Or am I missing this passcodes? Maybe that's why. One second. Size is super small or something, there's some problem. Okay, so you can also add this using img, like how I have added this click. So img you can add, or there is one more way. There are 3 4 ways to add an image from ipython.display. From ipython.display you can also import this image, right? There is a class called image, so you can import this, and then image, this is easy, right? So once you understood this, you can copy paste this from other notebooks, and here you pass the path. So what is the path? The path is your complete C and then PNG, right? So this is your path. You path the path of this file, where exactly this file is, and then if you run this, and then you can see this Unicode error because of R. So you have to write R, and you can see this image has been added, right? So what we have done is we have added this image, and just from ipynb ipython.image display, I have imported this image, and then I have written the path of the file. So there are different ways to add image. You can also use title, and then you pass the image. Lot of different ways to do the same thing. If you have some URL here, you can pass image, and then you pass the URL here. Let's say from online you want to see some image. So here you can write like this. What you can write is, let's say image, and then you can write URL equals to what? You can write URL equals to write the URL here. Wherever is the image, right? You can write the URL here. right? And also you can set the width and height of the image. There are parameters here you can to set to width and height. Lot of things you can do, let's not go there, but here you can write width equals to what and height equals to what, and you can set it here as well. So what we have discussed, I think this much knowledge in Jupyter regarding Markdown is sufficient to create any kind of dashing kind of notebooks. There are a lot of other options like in changing the font and changing the color of the font, but that is additional. But this is whatever we have learned is more than sufficient to create any kind of documentation, right? So let me quickly summarize before we go to the next section. So today we are in this section called Jupyter Notebook tutorial, and here I will give a heading. So now what I will do, #1, and the first section that we are discussing is called Jupyter Notebook tutorial. We are in Jupyter Notebook tutorial section, right? And what we have learned is, first we have learned how to add any text. Just write the text, and always remember Markdown, you have to change the mode. Now, after this, you can write your bullet points, item 1, item 2, item 3. Just you write a hyphen and change this, and you can run it. It will become bullet points. 1, 2, 3, just write 1, 2, 3, and then write the text. Subparts, yes, you can write 1, and then inside which you can again write hyphen, hyphen, giving some space. So that will become a sub kind of sub part or sub item inside the main item, right? Now, after that, we understood bold. Bold is 2 star, and then we understood about italic. Italic is 1 star, bold is 2 star, italic is 1 star. Header. Header, how many headers? Different levels of header. Shortcut is escape 1, escape 2, escape 3, escape 4. 1 hash, 2 hash, 3 hash, 4 hash. Escape 1, 2, 3, 4 you can give. Heading, subheading, and then again the subheadings, and lot of level of subheading you can give. Header 1, 2, 3, 4. After header, we discussed about nothing but our markdown. So sorry, URL hyperlinks. So hyperlinks href, and within that you can write the complete link, and you can write the text whatever you want to write, and then you can add your hyperlinks. How to write images? So there is a function called image module. You can import this from display, and then simply write the path. If it is if the image is present in URL, you give the URL. If the image is present in your local system, you just give the image path, and then you load it, right? So you understood how to load image, you understood how to add hyperlinks, you understood headers, you understood bold, you understood italic. I think this much is sufficient regarding markdown. So far, is it clear? Markdown is clear. Any kind of markdown, can you use it? Markdown, is it clear? So far, is it clear? Please say yes, yes, if you are clear, and ask me if you have any
Yes,
doubt.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, after image you are saying R. So R is a variable or?
No, no, we'll discuss about that. So
Okay,
R is a
okay, okay.
raw string. Yeah. So in Windows, basically you will get this error. If you are using any other system, then you will not get any error. Like for example, if you are a Mac or Linux user, then I think you no need to write R. For Windows user, you need to write R. Why? Because this path that I'm writing is actually, it is taking it as your special character slash. Instead of that, you can write R so that the interpreter will understand this is not a special character, this is raw string. You take that as a path only. So raw string, we are kind of telling the interpreter to use this as a raw string.
Okay,
Okay, so
thank you.
more about this
Yeah.
we will discuss, yes, in the class, right? When we go to pandas and other module, when we start reading input output files into data frames, I'll discuss more about it.
One more question, please. There is what is the meaning this from iPath and dot display?
Sorry, could you repeat?
Yes. What is this? Why we are using this from IPython dot display? This
I'll
is
tell
a
you.
picture. Oh, please.
So there is one more way also. I just forgot the syntax. This is just, I guess, title. This should work. I think we are doing small mistake, but I think this is also easy. So there are 2-3 ways how you can insert for everything. 2-3 ways. So bold, either you can write star star. If you forgot the star star, you can always write B. italic, I. So all of this image also img, img, right? So that also you can use the word. So every option you have 2 3. If you are comfortable using markdown, you can use. Otherwise, my suggestion is remember the shortcuts. These are super simple. Just if you can forget something, then I think you can Google, not a big deal, right? And also, if you want to learn the shortcuts, in help also you will get. Can you see this keyboard shortcuts? So this I will not show you now. Later you can see this because you will confused. Lot of keyboard shortcuts. How to open a new cell, how to close a cell, how to delete, how to run. Shift enter is run. So this is important, right? Shift enter means run. Every time instead of running using this run command, you can use run. Shift enter you can use, right? So all of these things are nothing but your Jupyter Notebook basic. More we will use when we go to different sections. And don't worry, this is just the starting. Every class we are going to repeat this syntax. Every class, whenever we do any project, we need to use all of this, right? So we understood about markdown, but is it completed? Answer is no. We have lot more to understand with respect to the tool itself, not with respect to markdown. I think markdown is done, but with respect to the tool. In the tool, we have lot of options. If you come, let's say I have written all of this note, I want to share it with you. What I want now, I have done after this class, I want to share it with you. How I will share? I will go to file and then I can see download as. Let me decrease the font size so that all the download as option you can see. So how many download option I have? HTML, I have markdown option, I have notebook option, I have Python option .py. In the down last it's nothing but py. Let's say you don't want to download it in ipynb, you want to download it in .py file, you can download. This is the Python extension. But normally what I will do is I will download it in IPYNB format if you want to store the markdown properties. If you want to store the markdown properties, IPYNB format. See this? This is the IPYNB format. And let me click on this. So what happened? This particular file, you can see it has been downloaded in IPYNB file. Now what I will find is many of you will tell me I am not able to open it. So this IPYNB file that I will share with you, you will complain I'm not able to open this. So how to open this? So if you try to open this IPYNB file in other Python editor, do you think this will open? And if not, why? Can anybody answer? If you open this IPYNB file, let's say in Atom or VS Code or TextPad or PyCharm or Spider, any other Python editor, will this open or not? IPYNB. Answer is no, it will not open. And why? You ask yourself, very common sense. Will they support this markdown? Are they supporting markdown? No. Only Python they will support. Python code only they can understand. Markdown, you have written lot of codes here, right? Markdown, you have given headings, all of these things. So those ID will not kind of understand what you have written. So you will get error. So now what is the option where you can load this? Only in Jupyter. So if you are downloading this in IPYNB format, you have to load it in Jupyter Notebook only to view it. Now you can ask me how it is possible. Maybe my team members are not using Jupyter, they are using other ID. How I can share my code? Don't download in IPYNB file. You have option for .py. If you download it in .py, what will happen? Any idea? All of this markdown will become dash comment. All of this markdown will become comment and only the Python code will be remaining. So you can open it in any IDE. But if you really want to store this markdown, this IPYNB only in Python notebook only you should open, like Jupyter. Let me show you how to open. So so basically I can see here. So this I have downloaded. See class practice note 9 p.m. IPYNB. Just now I have downloaded. This is 201 KB IPYNB format. What is this format? IPYNB. How to open this? If I open this, is it opening? No. This is file association helper something. It's not understanding anything, not opening. What I will do, I'll come to home page, Jupyter. There is something called downloads. Can I see here downloads? Here also I can go, or directly I can go to upload. This second button, I can press on upload. Here I can go to my this download, and then here I will select this, whatever I want to upload, and open. Can you see class practice notebook? It's already there, so I don't want to upload, but in this way I can upload, right? Is it clear, everyone? How to download, how to upload? Is this clear? Very important. Whatever files I am sharing is in IPYNB format. How you will open that? Download those files from Google Drive. Open your Jupyter and upload it, and then you can see this files where you will see this. If you see last modified, you just click on this last modified. If you see this recent one, what is this recent one? You can click on that and you can see the file. So don't try to open IPYNB in Spider or your PyCharm. This will throw you error, right? Okay. Okay, so I think you understood how to download, how to rename, how to save. Do you really need to save? No. Jupyter Notebook by default, it is saving. Having said that, it is my recommendation every time when you do a very important change, you can always save. There is a save as command or control S you can type. It will be saved automatically, it will save. But if you have done recent change and you don't want to, this will save, but at a regular interval it will save, not immediately. If you want to save a copy, then you can always save as. You can click on this. You can make a copy also. Let's say this is your main notebook, you don't want to do any change, rather you want to create a copy and do all of this change here. See, this is copy one. You change all of these things here, and then you can change the name to the original file. So you can create copies. So these are very basic things. And one more thing is revert to checkpoint. This is very important. This is how you can recovery, right? Sometimes what will happen is your office system, especially Mondays or maybe Friday evening, it will start Windows update, especially Windows machine, right? Automatically out of the, like, you are doing something and it will start updating the patches. And what you will do is everything that you have done is will be gone. The Jupyter may crash or shut down, something happened. Let's say you are writing something and you charge battery, there's battery died and it got shut down, or your memory crash, something happened, and what you have done is all your hard work is gone. No, it will not go, because every certain time, when is the last time? This today is June 2, right? So this is 8:56. What is the last time it has saved? 8:56 p.m. it has saved. Now you can change in the settings, but we are not going that detail. You can basically what it is doing, every certain interval it is taking a snapshot. Checkpoints it is creating. So in case your system is crashed or something, you can always go back to the previous checkpoint, right? So that option is also there. So I think these are some basic things, and how to add cells, how to delete cells. Let's say here one, I have written code. Let's say now I'm writing some Python code. Let's say print hi, right? And then I run this. Automatically it will open a new cell. It's not mandatory one by one line you can write. You can line 100 lines also here. You can write 100 lines of code also in one cell. But this will execute cell by cell. How Jupyter will execute? Cell by cell it will execute. Everything it will execute cell by cell. Now you want to delete, you want to add, always there is a scissor symbol you can see. There is a DD two times you can press, but leave about the shortcuts. This is easy. You can cut cell means you can remove this cell, cut. And you can always type Z. What I have typed? Z. To undo, let me again repeat. This Caesar will delete. By mistake, if you have deleted, Z will kind of redo. Sorry, undo, right? Again, let me delete. Caesar, delete. Z, only press Z in your keyboard, so it will come back, right? You want to add one more cell, plus plus plus, right? You want, are you getting? So adding cell is plus plus, deleting cell is Caesar, and then you go back, undo. Z is undo. I think this much is enough. And then running, running. Sometimes what will happen, your kernel will stuck. Kernel is the distributed, sorry, not distributed, this is the engine, IPython engine, which is running your Python script. IPython is interactive Python engine, right? So this is the kernel. Let's say sometimes what will happen, you are loading a 20 GB file in your 16 GB machine, or let's say it is super huge size, the Jupyter code, or you have written a very heavy code for loop. It is never executing, just stuck. you can see a star symbol, right? Stuck star symbol. In that case, you can interrupt or stop the program. Interrupt means you are killing the program. Restart means entire thing will be restarted. Reconnect, shut down, whatever you want, you can do. Change kernel. So I told you Jupyter is not only for Python. If you have R, Julia, Scala, just by changing the engine from Python engine to R engine or Scala engine, Julia engine, you can write 20, 30 plus languages using this Jupyter notebook. The markdown will be same, coding only, syntax wise it will be changing. Here we have only Python, so we are using Python. You can write Julia code. Julia is the next generation language which is coming up. People who are learning R in this era is, I think, it's not going to help them, because next lot of new languages are coming. Like Julia is kind of a language. Today you hear this, maybe after 5 years you will find Julia is taking the market. Very similar to R, but more powerful than R. Very, very specific to data science. Like let's say tomorrow you want to add a Julia kernel. Yes, you can add, and you can write Julia program in your Jupyter notebook, right? Different programs you can write. It supports different programs. So this kernel is clear, this help is clear. Insert means you can insert cell above, insert cell below, download and then upload, right? Checkpoint, save. Jed means undo, right? And then print any Python code you have written. Plus, scissor, cut, delete. All of these things are basic things. I think with this we are good with Jupyter notebook.
Ma'am, one
If you have,
question.
yes.
Yeah, undo, how exactly you're doing undo?
Undo Z, only Z. Z is there, keyboard. So just
Yeah,
Z.
you mean Z, A, B, C, D, Z.
Yes.
Okay.
G, yeah. So I have cut it, and then the last letter of English alphabet, right? Okay.
Hello, ma'am. Uh,
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
ma'am, can you please show us URL option that we added in Jupyter, the command?
Yes. So this is a href. Everything will be same. Only here you need to change the URL. And this is the text what you want to show to the user, right? You like click here or Python website name or whatever the text that you want to show to the user. You can write the text here, and this is the URL link that you want to share. A href tag you are using, and then you are closing this a tag. Is it clear?
Yes.
I will share
Yes,
this
ma'am.
notebook.
Suppose
Yes.
I'm trying. Yeah, sure. Yes, ma'am. That will be helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't worry, everyone. All of these things, whatever we are doing in the class, this is just a practice. You will get even more detailed notebooks in your drive. Today only I will upload the software installation and Jupyter notebook tutorial. Right? You can see it's very detailed way. Everything whatever we have done in this class, this note will be uploaded in the file in the drive. Right? Okay. Now, if you understood, this is quiz time. I'll take 5 minutes to ask you, and you have to answer in the chat window quickly. And then if you have any doubt, I will answer, right? Okay, tell me the code to add. No need to write, tell me the complete code, at least half, whatever you remember, that is fine, because just I want to see how much you remembered. The first thing is I want to add unordered list. What I will write? Unordered list means bullet points. Correct.
Hyphen
Hyphen,
space.
hyphen. Correct. Hyphen space, right?
Hyphen,
Hyphen
hyphen,
text one.
control.
Okay. Now what I want is I want ordered list. Ordered list. Yes. Just write one dot.
Normal one.
Correct. I want to add.
Hyphen,
I want. Yes. Now I want to add headings. Keyboard shortcut. Keyboard shortcut. Headings.
As
Second, escape hash, not only hash. Only hash means it will be comment in Python. If I write only hash, so what it will become? So okay, is it working? Only hash. One second, let me try this. Shift hash. Yes, this is working. How? Okay, this is markdown. Okay, so yes, hash only will work, right? Hash only will work, and then 2 hash, 3 hash, 3 4 hash you can do. Escape, I think it's optional. If you change it to markdown, only hash will work. So hash or escape hash, whatever it is, both will be used. Escape hash means if it is code mode, directly it will change to markdown. But anyway, so markdown mode should be there, and then escape 1, escape 2, escape 3. So that will be your heading, right? So let's say let me
Escape
write
may be
this.
shortcut, ma'am, for
Ha,
three
short.
hashes.
Yes, yes. So you can write, let's say, hash, right? So this is code mode. You need to change it to markdown. Then only this hash will work. Code mode means this will become Python comment. Okay. But if it is code mode, if you write escape 1, automatically it will change to markdown, right? That's why I told you escape. So escape will actually change the mode also. I have not told that. So escape will change. Escape and M will only M if you type. Now let's say this is code mode. Every time going there is a little tedious task. So what you can do is escape M I have pressed. See what happened? Change to code markdown mode, right? Change to markdown mode. Anyways, so I think you understood. So what I was asking is the header. So header is nothing but your hash symbol. Hash symbol is your header. Now if I want to delete a cell, delete Caesar symbol, or dd 2 times if you want to remember the shortcut, but as of now just Caesar is good. Just cut it. Undo if I want to reverse it, z, right? Yes. And then if I want to write HTML, sorry, what is that? URL. If I want to add a URL, just yes, ahref. You can use ahref. There is one more shortcut also. I think I'm doing some silly mistake there. I will write that. Yes, URL equals to this is working. Let me try this. So let me try this URL. Is it working URL? I just forgot long back I have used. So let's say this URL, is this working? Then you can write this way. 1 second. So copy this entire thing and paste it here. No, this is just this is a string, right? Variable. There is a syntax I forgot. There is some like this, I think bracket or something. Let me try this.
You are in code mode. That's why I think it's not working.
Yeah. So I think, yes. So this is working, but this is, if I remove this, yeah. So simply if you write this URL, if I remove this tags also, I think this is okay. Simply writing this is kind of URL. So this is super simple. So you just write the URL and then that's done. So if you just change it to markdown, this will work. But having said that, if you want to add text and other things, then you can use that. I think there are other ways also. I will tell you later, but different ways, right, to do the same thing. Href also you can use. Image, what you can do, you can use img tag, or you can use this display. You can use this display. You can import and then you can write it. So I think at high level you understood about Jupyter Notebook. We could not complete other things. The plan was so much, but I think we will go slow, and initial classes are very helpful. These two parts, every time you need it throughout your entire journey, you need these two things, right? Is it clear, everyone?
How to
Any
write the
questions on this?
italic?
One
How
star.
to write the italic?
Hi, that I will ask. Tell me how to write italic. Anyone? Italic.
Star.
Star.
Star is
Only star.
no.
Bold
Bold
is
it is 2 star, ma'am.
2 star, right? 2
2
star.
star, ma'am.
Yes. Now in this class only you remembered everything, right? That's good.
Single star in both the sides of the word.
2 star means it is 2 star means bold. 1 star means
No,
italic.
Changing the name means in both the sides of the word we have to write 1 star single star for italic.
You need to write the word within this star. Within this you need to write the word bold or whatever, right? This is sorry, this is italic. 1 star means italic, 2 star means bold. Within 2 stars you can write. Right?
Changing the name, madam, class practice note 9, how it got?
This is
name
just
change.
double click, super simple. Just double click and then you rename. Yes. and download, you know the options, and do not try to upload your files, download IPYNB file and try to read it in other. If you want to do that, py extension you can, and you have lot of other option. PDF, if you want to not to share your code with others, you can download in PDF. HTML means HTML, I think I have shown you in your demo sessions, mostly for leadership, and you can hide your code also. There are certain Jupyter extra code you can write, so you can use that code to hide your code. Only the output markdown will be displayed, the code will be hide. This is the kind of note, and I think this is just the markdown you can see here, right? So there are a lot of options, later we will understand more, but I think this is, we are good to kind of use
So,
this.
madam, what are
This is more
widgets
than
means?
sufficient.
Widgets.
And
The
if I
widgets you
just
can create
widgets,
menu bar and other things, that is not needed. We don't need those things,
Widgets,
and this
madam,
is
what
not
about
so
widgets?
helpful. This is yes, widgets means different kind of buttons and all that you can create, but I think this is not very useful. You can actually use your Flask or Django for a full framework, and PyQt, other libraries are there in Python to create local widgets, and full web framework if you want to use, then you have Flask and Django. These widgets you can kind of create, but that is, as I said, Jupyter is meant for documentation, widgets and all. So what is the purpose of widgets, like the users GUI and all that? So GUI is there, other frameworks are there like Python, PyQt and other things you can use. Here it will be restricted to this, right? And we want it should be universal, everybody who is using that code should get the outputs, widgets. So that's, you can, that section you can leave, but having said that, this is very important whatever we have studied today, and that is more than sufficient. Kernel you should know to kill it, insert cell above, insert cell below, download, upload, plus undo, and then cut, and then all of this basic markdown, right? Okay, I
Download
think
for
people,
downloading the file. Jupyter.
yes,
Download for downloading.
yeah.
We are
So
getting any
you,
previous video access now?
previous video, there's no class previous, only demo sessions, but in case you want to see, I think lot of demo videos are there already in YouTube. You can check full stack data
Which
scientist
classes?
demo video. This class,
No,
yes,
this
yes,
is,
everything. Yeah,
no,
today's video it will
I'm
be.
asking the previous batch video. Any previous batch videos will get if you enroll this course.
Previous batch video, the course content is changed from your batch, so you are the second batch. Morning one batch is running, there are 25 people, and you are the second batch. Right, so there is no previous batch. All content I have changed. This course is updated recently.
Okay, ma'am.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I had a question about the scope of this course and regarding the number of days this course will be running for. Will it be
Okay, so
strictly for
just
25 days?
one second, I will answer all queries. So others, I don't want to waste your time. If you are already kind of attended all the demos, you can leave the session now. People who have questions related to demos, they only can stay. Others, if you don't have any question, you already enrolled, everything is done, then you can leave. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, before I leave, I just have a question on Jupyter.
Sure. Yeah. Any question on Jupyter, you can ask first. Yeah.
So in real time, what was the format we submit to the users? See, as you mentioned, right, IPNY need to be installed in their side. So do we need, by default, how we send the format to the users? Our case studies or
Users
anything?
in the sense, case studies, you can, depends who is the user, right? If you're, let's say you are working in a service based company and you want to share your code, I think if they are data scientist, this is a kind of ABCD for data scientist, so every day they use it, so everybody will be knowing this IPYNB and other things. So it's up to you how they can easily convert, right? IPYNB to PY and PY to IPYNB, very easily it can be convertible. So here you just change it to .py if you want. If your user is telling to share it with py format, download it as .pynb, right? See, .py. Now this is a .py file. You can kind of open this .py file. But if it is IPYNB, so what is the standard you are asking? Depends on the company. I cannot generalize. Depends on the company. In our company, we have, I think nobody really cares about ID, honestly. People care about code. So code and
So we
output.
can send it,
Yeah.
we can send it in HTML also, it's fine, right?
HTML is only for leadership team. They will not be able to do any modification, right? So if you
Okay,
are
okay.
sharing, so HTML means only they can view it. So if that is the requirement, you can share. Otherwise, IPYNB or PY, any format is okay, right?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
And for header, if I press escape plus hash, it will directly go to the markdown option.
Markdown, yes. Escape hash means markdown, and then if mostly what we do is when we are in coding, right? The mode always will be in code mode, isn't it? Because mostly we'll be writing Python codes. So if you type only hash, it will be Python comment. So good practice is escape hash. So what it will do, it will first change it to markdown, and then hash means first heading. Otherwise, if it is already in markdown mode, you can use only hash also.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Johnson, I think I can answer you. You are telling about the course access drive, right? I think ma'am told you already are added to the drive morning 7:30. Please check, do you have any access or not? Otherwise, let me know. Right now, can you check while others are asking question? Please check your email. Maybe you have got access. I asked you about ma'am, and she told you already got access to the morning drive. Okay. Others, if you don't have any doubt on Jupyter, you can leave, and people who have demo doubts, you can ask. Demo doubts, any questions?
Ma'am, one doubt.
Yeah.
Ma'am, actually, I'm from, I have completed BTech second year, ma'am. Now I'm BTech third year.
Okay.
Ma'am, I know perfectly in Java, ma'am. If I join in this course, means how it is helpful, ma'am, for me, actually, data science, how it will be helpful. Like in creation of apps like that.
Creation of app is okay. So creation of app is a different thing, that is web development. So the purpose of data science itself is different, right? So what I will suggest you is please spend some time understanding what is data science, what is the terminology, what is the role, what is the scope, everything we have discussed in the demo video. So can you please go to YouTube? Every class demo has been uploaded. I have checked today with YouTube. You can see lot of demo videos are there in YouTube. And full stack data science demo only you need to see. Other demos are old content. So full stack data science demo, can you see that? And let us connect tomorrow. And do you have any doubts after that? Looking that video, I can answer. So all of these questions I have answered in that demo. That's why I'm saying, so you need to first understand what is data science. Then only you can understand whether that is suitable for you or not. That's the second question. First, you need to understand
Okay.
what is data science, right? So I have explained everything in the demo. My request is please go to YouTube and spend at least some time understanding about what is data science, what is the scope, what is this course is about, from where you can start and from where you can learn, or from where you can kind of reach. And people have asked lot of doubts similar to your doubts. I have 5 years, 6 year, 8 years, 10 year experience in other domain. Can I switch? If yes, what is the challenge? What is the advantage, disadvantage? Everything we have nicely discussed. So my suggestion is please see the demo recording of previous class in YouTube, right? Any one of the
Okay.
demo
Thank
recording,
you.
please. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I'm having one question regarding regarding the job after doing this course, right? Let's say I am having 4 years of experience, around 4 years of experience, okay, in .NET related technologies. So currently I am working product-based company, one of the product-based company. So I have a question that let's say I have completed this course. So should I go like, will I go as a fresher on that case, or will I be going like with by showing some experience in that case after completing this course? Means, as you know that as per the market, even I show 2 years of experience or 1 year of experience in data science. That what are the requirement or what are the things that is needed, or what is the expectation of someone like who will hire me in some domain
I think
in this
all
data
of
science
this
domain.
question, yes.
Mhm,
I have discussed these questions again in the
mhm,
previous demo several times. Every day,
mhm,
actually, the same question I'm getting, and I
mhm.
have repeated. But let me repeat
Okay.
again, right,
Mhm,
to clarify your doubts. So
mhm,
answer is, I think there is a two simple answer to every question. One answer is, this course will give you 2 to 3 year experience knowledge. Knowledge it will
mhm,
give you, and you have to see to enter into data science world. There are two
mhm,
ways. I
mhm,
told you, or maybe three ways you can take. First way
mhm,
is, if your profile is not so good you can go ahead with data analyst, and gradually you can become data scientist over the year. Second is, if you are a fresher, complete fresher, BTech, and you don't have a relevant field like computer science or stats or math, you are from different background, right? In that case also you can try for business analyst, data analyst, right? People who are already in software engineering field, like you are saying .NET in product based companies and all, have at least some coding experience, isn't it? They are into IT, they know a lot of things like maybe SQL, Java and other things they already know. They know the framework. Now for them, I think this course will be very much helpful because they can showcase 2 years of experience, and you will be considered as in entry level post only you should try for. You are not eligible for writing for 4 year, 5 years,
No,
but
1 year,
you
at
are
least 1 year,
Yes,
1 to 2 years.
definitely you can. Yes, 1 to 2 years definitely you can write, and you can try for data science. Now there are third category of people who are senior people, like 8 years, 10 years, 15 years, 18 years. Mostly they are managers or team leads in other sections. Maybe I don't know if the requirement is internal. Their company is telling them to guide a team. For them, I think this course will give enough knowledge so that they can guide their data science team, and I think that move will be smooth. But if they're looking out, I told yesterday that 2-3 years is recommended, but somebody who has 18 years, 15 years, not only data science, don't you think when you work 15 years in one domain, at that stage, if you are planning to change to any other domain, that will be difficult, isn't it? Not
Correct.
only data
Correct.
science, any other domain, any other, let's say you want to switch to data engineer or DevOps, whatever domain, that will be difficult. What you can do is, you can write some experience handling maybe data science team, and also as an individual contributor you can at max maybe apply for some intermediate role, maybe 3-4 years experience, and there is a less probability of selection for those kind of super senior positions, right? Because
Correct.
you
Correct.
understand what all are the challenges.
Yes,
Pay
yes,
is a
yes,
challenge,
yes, I will get.
lot of challenges are there. So
Yes.
for them the probability is lesser and lesser. More experience means changing domain is difficult. I think everybody understand. Not only
Yes.
data science, whatever domain, let's say I am working in data science for 15 years, can I change to DevOps or software engineering?
Nothing.
Maybe
No, not
yes,
possible.
but
It's hard.
lot
It's
of
hard.
hard. I have to compromise lot of things. My pay, I have to compromise my year of experience, lot of things, and then only I can able to achieve it. So there are certain ways, but it is best to change your career if you are a fresher, or maybe you are in a certain age like 6, 7, 8, 9, till that level also if you try hard. Yes, one more I will tell you, right? People who are super senior, for them, if you are a computer science, if you are having a computer science or master's degree, or basically if you are working in software engineering domain, I will suggest instead of coming to data science, please go ahead with the data engineering. That will be little smoother for you. Basically for senior people, 15, 18, 20 years, right? I'm talking about them, because data science, a lot of domain and lot of technical things you need to learn, and you will be fresher only. Initial few years, definitely you will be, if it is not an internal movement, if it is external, I doubt with zero experience somebody, and even though you are cracking interviews as a manager, do you think they can manage a team of data scientists? Very
No.
difficult. When you go to real time, lot of politics, lot of things are there. Manager means you should be kind of individual contributor first, and then you can become a manager. Lot of things, ideas, innovation, client project, lot of responsibility on your head, right? So my suggestion is go slow and step by step. So for them, data engineering I will suggest, right? To, because they
But
already know software engineering, little bit of more knowledge, big data analytics course they can take. I think that is the good thing for them.
ma'am,
I
one
think this is
one
the summary. Yeah.
one basic question actually I am having, that is really a big doubt. So is it really data science is like is it really truth that data science persons, whoever is working for 5 years, are having more salary or very high salary in compared to others, or is it a hype? Because many people I have talked with, whoever working in data science, they are saying that it is really a very challenging field, and it is only the hype that they will get a very high salary, because this is what I
Actually,
have heard of.
sure. So, yes, there are a lot of hype, I understand, but when it comes to salary, I can give you in written that it is high. There's no doubt about it. So, as the role is challenging, product-based companies, if you are going, I have seen people, freshers, passed out BTech 25, they're starting. That is the salary. Like what I'm saying is, it's a vast domain. If you're really skilled, Even you can see this TCS and Infosys initial package is 3.16, 3.35 like that. They have changed it to 7 and 6 for their digital. I think they created a new
2.2,
kind of
ma'am.
different section. Yes, 3.2 is for the freshers, and my friends joined TCS after BTech, and then when they put down that paper, TCS internally they increased 30% hike. TCS only gave them because it was lowest in the market. If they go out, they will easily get more. So one thing I can tell, yes, there are a lot of hypes regarding data science and AI. Uh, I mean, but when it comes to salary, I may be wrong, but what I have seen in my own career, I have seen a lot of my friends. We generally talk, right? Like when we switch company, we talk how much hike you got and all that. And looking at the hike and other opportunities that I am personally I'm getting, I can tell you if you are talented, there is no upper limit. You can reach to, I have seen data science managers are getting 50, 60, 70, lot of, like, there is no upper limit. But let us
Okay.
talk the general things. Let us not go to the odd extreme things. Generally this is what you will get. 7 to 12 is intermediate or fresher role. 7 should be the starting point. 6 to 12 I can tell. Below 6
Okay.
means you don't accept. 6 to 12 is the starting salary. 12 to 18 is for senior data scientist. 6 to 12 is 0 to 3 year. 3 to 6 year senior data scientist. 12 to 18 staff data scientist or lead data scientist or manager you will become after 6+ years of experience, and that salary will be 18 plus. And I can show you the offer letter. TCS, Infosys, Genpact, Accenture, this kind of companies are offering 18 plus. If you go to
Okay.
Goldman Sachs, PayPal, other companies, Myntra, Flipkart, your salary will be 25 plus as a manager. So I think that is more than software engineering salary, isn't it? With 6 year, 6 to 8 year experience, if you are getting 20 plus, I don't know. But if you compare, maybe I'm not comparing every company. Why is it will difficult, different? But summary is yes, it is more 10-20% definitely. It is not a hype. It is a reality. It is not a
And,
hype.
and
It is reality.
one more question, like last question, I think. So, is it really a very challenging field? Let's say you are working from some
Yes,
many years in this one.
correct.
So, basically, in daily work, because one of my I came to know with one person. I talked with him. Okay, he has done course from Upgrade. So after getting his job, even he get a very good job in some companies. So even after he get a good job, he's very facing lots of problems in that, because lots of data analysis he need to do and lots of things he need to do in daily basis. And he's saying that I should switch to my previous job because it is really a challenging field. I need someone to help, and no one is helping because I'm going with some sort of experience by doing this one.
Okay, I will tell you one thing. Not only data science, any trending field is challenging, isn't it? So go to any trending field, Bitcoin, or you go to cryptocurrency, or you go to DevOps, or you go to data engineering for sec. People think data engineering is easy. How difficult it is. Just think for 2 minutes, right? Here you're learning machine learning statistics. Do you think statistics will vanish tomorrow? Completely? No, right? Statistics was there, is there, will be there at least, right? But what
Mhm.
about Hadoop and Spark? Hadoop was there 2009. Spark came 2014. Now a person who has Spark experience has more demand than a person who is Hadoop expert. So along with the tool, your experience is going, right? Informatica is there, some other tool will be there. And let's say you have this other things, like let's say you have this Hadoop ecosystem, you have learned something else is coming. Azure, you have learned AWS is capturing the market. AWS, you learn GCP is there. GCP, you have learned something else will come. So how many tools you will upgrade in data engineering? Have you ever thought? And this is my personal experience. I worked as a data, but salary, you can expect lot of salary. Where there is challenge involved, obviously salary will be more. And this is
Correct,
not a hype.
correct.
In software engineering, you know 2-3 languages and that is done, right? But here you have to keep upgrading yourself. Very difficult real time things you have to think. But having said that, not only data science, any trending field, if you want to switch your career, that is difficult. Come to DevOps, lot of new tools and anything, you many things you have to learn. But I think highest salary is in data. Any data
Okay.
world, if you're selecting data engineer or data science, in US they're getting 1 crore plus freshers, BTech freshers, they're getting 1 crore plus. If you're planning to go to abroad, I think you are the highest paid, one of the highest paid category. And I'm not talking just because of facts. I have seen the offer letters of my own students, they have shared the offer letters. And I was I was thinking, I'm not even kind of, if you compare India and US salary, right, there's hell and heaven difference, like lot of
Yes.
difference.
Correct.
And that is not even, I'm talking about big companies, right? That is small companies, you have not even heard about that names. And they were negotiating $85 per hour and all. If you're going for contract jobs, $85 per hour they are charging. That is the company is super happy. They can kind of give up to $110 or $120 per hour. That kind of demand is there. This is not a hype. Salary is more, that I will accept.
Okay.
Not only in data science, any data world, data engineering also super complicated. You have to learn Java, you need to learn Scala, you need to learn Python, you need to learn big data, entire ecosystem, cloud, and you need to learn all of this. So somebody is learning lot of things, and why somebody will not pay more, right? So skill set is directly important. So any field is challenging. Having said that, challenge comes with its own reward. So you will be getting lot
Correct.
of good opportunities in this COVID
Madam, we will
situation also.
be,
Yeah. So in this COVID
madam, we will be
situation
doing
also,
any this.
yeah,
Okay,
just give me
okay.
1 minute, let me complete and then I'll answer. And maybe I'm getting late, so I'll take maybe 5 minutes more. So what I'm telling is, in this COVID situation, this is a good example where other jobs are at risk. None of the team members from data science team in my company has been fired, because even for data engineering team, because data is something which is every company is want to invest. At least this is a situation in today. I can't tell you what will be in next 4 years. This is not a hype. Maybe it is a hype to a larger extent, but this is also reality, that salary will be more challenging, job is challenging, salary is more, and highly demanded skill set. Hundreds of job offers you will get. If you're really skilled, company will run after you. No need to, if your CV has that much weightage, you can see good data scientists, they change. You go to LinkedIn and check 1 year 2 year, they will switch company, right? 10 20 30% hike they will take. And 5 years, my friends, they started career and maybe in TCS and all, in 5 years, I think IT analyst and something, they will be in 6 7 package, whereas a data scientist will be 5 times more. She will be, or he will be, a data science lead or something. 30 25 28, till that level you can reach. So definitely her salary is more, no doubt in that, right? Okay, anyways, so I'll take the last question and then we will stop the
Madam,
sessions. Any further
excuse me,
question you
madam.
can ask. Yeah.
Yeah, madam, we will be dealing with this stock market exchange. Any example problems from that side?
We will do one time series project, right? Which is nothing but stock data. We will do one time series project. Stock
Means
market,
what is
not
the
stock.
main?
We will collect the stock data and then we will predict the stock prices. It's a time series project. When we go to time series using ML, we will do a modeling there, right? We'll predict, forecast what will be the stock price for next quarter, right? We have two projects, we can select any one, that or maybe corona cases state wise, that also is another time series project. So any one of this we will pick, right? Okay, others
Another
please
one
go
we
ahead.
will be doing the coding. Any others will do the code, or else you will be helping with you. The material is there.
Yeah, all, no. That this is a live session, so I will code in front of you, and one project I will take you through. One project you will do yourself in the coding test, like how I have done today. This is how the classes will be. When it is a kind of project class, the same way I will take you through the project entire step one by one. I will take you through. Everything is live. It's
But
not like just
is this sufficient for Jupyter notebook? You said this much, but we
this
need
much.
for.
See, I'll 1 second, just I will stop you for some time. There is nothing, no word in the dictionary called sufficient in AI, right? Don't ask me two questions. One question is whether the AI course is completed and whether this is sufficient. There is no word called sufficient. There is no word called complete in AI. It's a ever learning. Having said that, we are good at here. More additional thing, if you want to learn about Jupyter, who is stopping you? Learn, but that is not needed. This much is sufficient for doing your daily work. Any additional, let's say you want to change the color of the font, yes, you have
Yeah,
to
that
learn
is
that. So there are always
from
additional
there we
things to
should
learn in
learn.
everything. You
From
can
where
go
we
to
should
Google
learn
and
those?
type Jupyter Notebook. In Python, a lot of tutorials are there, but as I'm saying, this much is sufficient. Don't invest lot of time learning unnecessary things, because we have lot of things to learn in the future. When I will go there, I'll tell you what next to learn. Jupyter is just a tool, and this much is sufficient. If you want to invest your time, learn something which is really important, right? I will tell you what you need to learn next. Like we have lot
This
of
is
things to learn,
sufficient.
I'll tell you. Yeah. So I think this much is enough for Jupyter.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
I
Ma'am,
have
I have paid
two
the fees, ma'am.
questions.
When I'll be getting access to the complimentary videos and which you said, no, Durga Sar's video. I have paid the fees. I haven't yet
Vignesh.
got the.
Yes, yes. I will update ma'am. So Durga sir, she will update to sir, and he will add you in the drive, right? Vignesh, right? I already uploaded. Sorry, I already updated in the morning. Again, I'll tell once to ma'am, right?
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Yeah. Okay. I
Ma'am, I have two questions. This is
okay. This is
from,
the last question,
yeah,
and then I
yeah.
have to go.
Yeah. So the thing is, basically, as an engineering manager for a team of voice,
Ha ha ha.
basically, just like your whatever this Amazon is Amelia and all that, that kind of
Okay.
a team you need to handle from development perspective as a manager. So will this course be good enough?
Depends on your team and your kind of role. So what manager you are from, for
Engineering,
which team?
development team, engineering
Okay.
manager for voice, basically AI
Mhm.
voice.
Okay, AI voice.
Will this be helpful?
So this will give you an idea at least. I don't know how much. So engineering in the sense you are mostly focused on the ETL side, like the your team members. What is their job? What they are doing? Like are they kind of creating any AI apps, or their responsibility is to integrate created AI apps from other teams like data science team in the environment? What is their role? Depends.
There,
So if you
yeah,
are.
yeah. Go ahead, please go ahead.
Yeah, so as a manager, what I believe is the more your knowledge is, the more ideas you can generate. And your main goal is to create different ideas and divide it into short term, long term, middle term, all that, and divide it into your kind of team members, and also to check what they are doing, is it kind of correct way or not. Let's say you are handling a team where a lot of AI things they're doing, and you have zero knowledge in AI. Two things will happen. First thing is your team member themselves will not kind of treat you as a manager because you have zero idea in AI, and they are working in AI. Let's say they can cheat you, they can tell some stories, and you have to believe them because you yourself have no idea. Now, if
Yeah,
you have at least the domain idea and you know what all are the things, you may not code yourself, but at least you know the things in a correct way. You can guide them, or you can actually tell them the correct way. If they are misguided, you can guide them, and you can actually, if they are kind of doing something wrong, you can kind of mentorship. What we call is like the ideas you can generate. A lot of project idea will come to your head if you know what is AI and what kind of applications we can do. So I became manager recently. I don't have a lot of experience, but as a manager I feel a lot of stressed than an individual contributor. Just I will give the task, you have to do it, okay, I will do it. Managers means you have to create ideas. This is the projects that we are going to complete, these are the ideas. So how you will get project ideas if you yourself don't know what is the AI domain is? So for answer your question, yes. So AI will always help you because AI is now everywhere, it is integrated. AI plus IoT. Now you go to other industry, you will find AI plus IoT integrated. AI plus other things, it is mostly, let's say, data engineering team, right? Manager who are data engineering, mostly they will not be doing modeling. Having said that, a lot of ML, machine learning, lot of these terms will come to their kind of year. And there will be always, there is a question mark, what is ML, right? What is machine learning? What exactly modeling is? What kind of application you can build? What is artificial intelligence? If for information purpose, if you want to enroll, that is helpful. But depends. I cannot kind of tell you in the right way because I'm not sure about your team structure, your goal of the team. As a
Uh-huh.
manager, if you want to understand what is artificial intelligence, and at least you want to understand what all things you can do using AI, what all areas AI can be implemented, what all applications and projects somebody can do, then I think this course will be helpful. So
My
that you can.
question was basically, is there any course specially related to voice on AI in the market?
Voice on AI, NLP, basically, deep learning NLP. So people who really um, build voice systems like Alexa and all, they
Uh-huh.
are that is an advanced, very advanced level of kind of AI they are using. BERT, transfer learning, NLP, audio, lot of things together. It comes. I really don't know what is your goal. If you are just maintaining the project, not building from scratch, maybe this course is enough. But if you are planning to build it from scratch, I think for that, this is again the path. Next step you need to take, which is very, very
I got
advanced
your
level.
point. One more
Yeah.
question. This is from the automation perspective. So, are there any automation tools basically to test AI functionality?
There are a lot of automation packages are available. Functionality in the sense, you want to do the entire thing automated way, or you want to only validate
Basically, it's a
phases.
functionality. No, what I'm trying to say is general. I'm a general software engineering manager. So what we do is development team. Basically, they do the development, and basically we used to have QTP or Python to
Okay,
check the
got it.
functionality.
No, we
Yeah.
have our own framework. We validate before we how you test. We also test the models. That's a data scientist job to test the model. And once the model is working, we will be implementing it in some platform how the user is comfortable. Whatever platform, maybe in a dashboard kind of form or GUI, or maybe whatever format they are kind of comfortable. Data IQ, lot of tools are there right now. So any platform that the client is okay, we are going to deploy there. The client will use that tool for certain time window, let's say 1 quarter or 2 months or 6 months, and then based on their user experience, they will buy it. So that's the process. So like you are testing, we have also our own, and this course will teach you how to validate your model. Only not modeling, but we will also test our model, how this is working. So answer to question is yes, we have lot of tools which we will do, and there is a lot of automated tools also is present which will do the entire thing automated way. It will build also and test also, right?
Okay.
So yeah.
I'm
Okay,
good.
Maybe this
so
course will be finished in August, like that, or July ending by August ending.
so approximately you can say 2 to 2.5 months it will take, right? And every day class will be there. So yeah, so like now the situation is very bad, but if I am okay, everything is fine, then this will definitely finish on time, right?
So basically, today is a second class, ma'am.
Yes, you can consider, because we started with the content. So today is the first
Okay.
class, you can say. Yeah, first or second class. Yeah.
And basically, this class is held 9 p.m. daily.
They are 9 p.m. daily. Yes.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Hello.